You all ready to join me today in our trip to outer space?
Yeah.
Albert Shivers.
The Matrix doesn't happen.
That's very true.
Come along quietly or not.
Goodbye, Whips.
As I was about to try to bribe
From Albert
the
Shivers.
mistress of the fading light.
They don't have to like it.
They're trying to put a caravan.
The general concept is that creativity flourishes in an atmosphere of freedom.
Hello, folks, and welcome to another episode of the Planet Shivers podcast. I am Albert Shivers, and on this episode, episode 125, singer-songwriter Alyssa Haze is back on the show to talk more about her music, the record store she runs, as well as her new EP that is out and able to be listened to on all kinds of different platforms. Before I get to Alyssa and our conversation, I just want to tell you guys about a couple of things. First off, my artwork is currently on display at the Skytop Lodge and Country Club, which is over in Paradise Valley, Pennsylvania. And I will be part of the NASCAR art show. It's got a funny name, but it is basically a motorsports art show that was a juror art show. You had to apply to get in it, and Peace of Mind is going to be in that show at the Crossroads Art Center near Richmond, Virginia. Actually, last year, I believe, I did a painting of Marty Robbins' race car. If you don't already know, Marty Robbins was a very popular country singer, but on the side, he raced mostly locally at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, but he made a good handful of Cup Series starts. If you want to see and learn more about that, you could check out my Instagram page at NASCAR Pulp. And if you want to find out more about the art stuff I got going on, the shows, I've been very lucky. The shows have been going real well. People have even taken some pieces of art home with them. So I'm very thankful for that. And you can find out more about that on my Instagram at Albert Shivers or at www.albertshivers.com. One other thing, towards the end of this conversation, Alyssa and I were talking about her family and sort of her family history in music and being involved with music. And we got on the topic of her grandfather, who was an engineer. And he made some cabinets and some amps. In that conversation, Alyssa wanted to double check certain things about her grandfather. He was an engineer. So when that part comes, just plug what I'm saying now into then, and it'll be smooth sailing for the rest of the podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy this conversation with Alyssa. I did. She's part of the Planet Shivers crew now, 2-time guest, and go check out her music. She's fantastic. All the platforms and YouTube, you can check her out. Enjoy the episode. Let's get to it. How you doing, Alyssa?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you back on. Since I found your music, I've been following what you're doing. I'm a big fan of it. We have a lot of similar tastes when it comes to music, and I'm all about propping up new musicians who are carrying on old traditions. So we'll just jump right in. You have a new EP that, has it come out yet?
Yes, I dropped it on April 19th.
Okay, cool. Tell me a little bit about it.
So, the whole project kind of came about because I just want to get material out there. Prior to the release, I only have, I think, 2 songs out on Spotify and such, so I compiled 8 songs together to just get stuff out there. Some of them I wrote back in 2022, and some of them I just wrote like 2 months ago or so.
Okay.
So it's a wide range of material, and I am considering it an EP rather than an album because the topics of each song kind of go all over the place.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's just a little compilation project in a sense.
Cool. How long, how much time have you been putting into it? When did you write these songs that are on there?
So, the earliest song that is on there, I think, would be Dianera, which was the first single that I put out. I put out 2 singles to kind of promote the whole project, and that was the first one I dropped on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
It's inspired by the idea and the story of Dianera and Hercules, and the theme of the song is kind of coming into the best version of yourself and realizing that you just can be better and do better after a kind of not so great relationship per se.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a empowerment ballad.
Gotcha. Cool. What kind of tunes are the other songs?
I'm drawing a blank. Let me just pull up the track list
Sure.
real quick. They kind of just, they're similar themes, but they kind of range all over the place. The first track is called, well, there's an intro, and that's something I just made with samples when I was like 15 or so.
Okay.
Going back a little bit, the title Mind of Mine actually came about because I had anticipated on releasing a project back when I was like 15 or 16 called Mind of Mine, but I never ended up doing so.
Okay.
So the title of the EP is kind of to pay homage to that project that never even got finished. So that's where the intro comes from. And then the first track, Love Don't Love Me Like I Love You. It's a more recent one that I created, but it's about not receiving that same treatment or energy in relationships. Basically not having the greatest of luck per se with that sort of thing. With love, like the title says, love don't love me like I love other people per se.
Gotcha.
So there's that one. That song started off with a bass line, which is a sample, and I wrote lyrics and it kind of just felt super empty for a long time. I wasn't even sure if I was going to add it onto the EP, but I picked up the flute again, which I played 10 or so years ago in like school band, so it's been a while, but I picked that back up, so I added some flute parts, and I also got these jazz brush drumsticks, so I added a little drum part in there, and it kind of came together. And I'm in no means a drummer, so it's very basic, just me messing around.
Okay.
And and then I ended up liking how the song came out, so I added it back on. So yeah.
Cool. It sounds, just from what you're saying, it sounds as if you're really pulling from a lot of different time periods for you to put all on this one EP.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I wrote the songs in a span of 2 or 3 years. Some of them are, like Dianera was one of the first songs I ever finished, actually.
Okay.
So that's a very early piece of work that I made, and I actually had plans of releasing it as a single back in like 2023, but never ended up doing so. So I added that back into the EP, and other songs are kind of similar to that. I have the next song, which is called Hate Me, and I wrote that beginning of 2024, so a little over a year ago. I started composing it on the piano, and it took a while to get the song to where it is today, but it's about sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought.
It's okay. Take your time.
But yeah, I was just working on the piano and messing around with different chords and how I can play those different chords. I probably came up with 10 different melodies and just different patterns with that song, and it finally got to a point where it stuck with me. So I wrote lyrics, and I probably wrote the song over like 6 months or so. But yeah, I mean, all of the songs do span on like a couple years or so of different events in my life, different emotions, and just things that have happened per se. So yeah.
Do you find some of these songs you had written a while back, do you find that when you're revisiting these tunes to put on this EP, do some of those feelings still hold up, or do you sense growth between then and now as you're compiling this?
I definitely feel the growth aspect, because some of them are so old, but I definitely do still relate to them in a sense and still feel the way that I did when I wrote the song. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe not for like one of them. One of them is, I guess, is very, for lack of better terms, depressing sort of tune. I wrote that when I was not doing so great. So, I mean, I don't like feel that way in the moment, but I mean, it's a real and raw representation of how I was feeling at a point in time, and I like to be very authentic and just honest with my lyrics, so I don't go against it per se.
Right.
Like, I really like the idea of that song and what it's about, and even though I don't feel the way I did writing the song, it still means just as much to me. So
that makes total sense. Definitely. For folks who may not have seen your first time on the show, and in relation to the new EP and what kind of tunes you have on there, what are some of your influences musically that may have inspired some of the songs as well as some of the music on the new EP, Mind to Mind?
As for musical influences, I honestly didn't really have any in mind while creating the individual songs. I mean, I've always songwritten out of feeling and emotion and just to kind of cope with that sort of thing. I think a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's sort of how they all came about. And I guess if I were to answer the question, I guess life and emotions and that sort of thing would be the influence on pretty much the entire project.
Okay. Would you say this project of yours is the most personal you've done? It sounds like it's very personal.
I'd say so, yeah. I mean, I tend to always write pretty heartfelt and close to home lyrics on either what I'm feeling or going through, so it doesn't stray far from that. And the I guess, singles that I've released before. But, I mean, it definitely talks about a range of different things, different emotions, situations that I've gone through. So it definitely is very personal in that sense, yeah.
Cool. And where can folks find it?
So it is on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, all the kind of major streaming platforms. I'm actually looking into getting it on CD eventually,
okay.
so hopefully I'll have those soon. I haven't actually gone into like the depths of doing that, but it's
Right.
a plan of mine, so hopefully I'll have those. But yeah, it's on all the major streaming platforms.
Cool. I always want to plug your store, Retro Records.
Oh, thanks.
How are things going there?
Awesome. I just changed my hours to being open 6 days a week.
Okay.
10 to 7 weekdays and 10 to 5 on weekends. So I've definitely noticed I'm doing a lot better since I've done that.
Cool.
I've always done good there. It's always been fun. But definitely the expanded hours have helped a lot.
Gotcha. And are you still doing stuff at Seekonk Speedway?
Yes, I'm actually going to be singing there the national anthem this weekend, the 24th.
Okay, cool. And how's that all been going?
It's awesome. I mean, I really love it. Of course, the first couple times I was beyond anxious, but
Right.
now I'm pretty comfortable up there and having a lot of fun doing it. It's a pretty cool feeling being out there.
Yeah, I could imagine.
It's very fun. It's
And that-
probably one of my favorite gigs per se that I got going on.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And about how many? So ballpark, how many people would you say you're singing the anthem to at Seekonk? 'Cause that's a pretty popular speedway.
Yeah, for sure. The capacity of the venue, I guess, or the speedway, is 10,000. So if it is packed, which on the thrill shows it typically is,
Okay.
probably close to that number, which is terrifying. I didn't find that out until after I sang there. I told
Okay.
everyone, please do. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I wear eyeglasses to see. I can't see very far.
Okay.
And I never wear them when I perform. So it helps a lot.
Okay. Yeah,
With
just
the nerves factor.
right. It just turns the crowd into a bit of a blur, and I'm sure it makes
for
it easier.
Sure. Yeah.
So to bring it back to your EP, Mind to Mind, one thing I noticed about it as I was looking it up, leading up to our conversation, was the cover art. Did you do the cover art yourself for it?
I did, yeah. It's actually, I guess, what I've seen called an analog, kind of decoupage piece. I actually have it right here.
Okay, cool.
I was hoping to talk about it. It's made out of magazine clippings and letters, just from a variety of different, like, home magazines and
That's
different
cool.
things. But yeah, as for what is actually on it, like the people and such, there's really no meaning per se behind the imagery. I actually just went into it just wanting to create something, and I ended up really liking it and wanting to do something with it, so then it became the EP cover. So I added the title and my name, and yeah, that's how it came about.
Cool. So when, so you did that particular art prior to the EP. Am I following you right?
I did it while I was in the process of creating it.
Okay.
I wasn't totally sure what the cover was gonna be, but I mean, I made the collage piece and I really liked it, so I made it into the cover eventually. But yeah, I didn't like go into making the collage piece thinking, oh, this is gonna be my EP cover.
Gotcha.
So it was unexpected, but I'm glad it happened the way it did because I'm in love with the cover, honestly. I hang it on my wall.
No, it's cool, and I think it fits, like the decoupage element of it fits with the type of music you're playing.
For sure. Thanks. Yeah.
So how many... Go ahead.
No worries. I'd really like to get it onto CD because I did cassette tapes, like custom mixtapes for a little bit, but I've never actually had a body of music that I've made on a physical CD, so that'd be cool.
Are you on like a typical artist on to the next thing already?
Oh yes.
Okay.
I was actually just working on something yesterday. I have recently been messing around with this MIDI keyboard. It's actually right behind me.
Okay.
See that
cool.
right there?
Yeah,
I'm in my little studio setup that I recorded Mind of Mine in. I figured it was fitting.
Yeah.
It's in my garage. But yeah, I've been messing around with this MIDI keyboard, and I've had it for months. My uncle actually gave it to me, and just never thought to plug it in, so I've been kind of fiddling around with that lately, and I came up with this, I don't even know what you'd call it. It's very 80s sounding, so I called it strange 80s sounding shit.
Okay.
And hopefully that'll turn into a song eventually. I'd like to do an album next that I actually go into it thinking like, oh, I'm making an album, rather than like a compilation, like Mind of Mine. So, yeah. But that's obviously won't be the title. It's kind of what I call the title before the title. Just so I can locate the file when working on it.
That's important. I understand that struggle.
Yeah. I have so many files just titled untitled, and it's like I gotta open it and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, that's this.
Right.
But yeah, I definitely am on to working on the next thing, and I'd like to do an album. I have no kind of idea on what it'll be or sound like or be about, but kind of in the works of figuring that out now.
Okay, cool.
So yeah.
Cool.
And then I do have I probably talked about this last time. It's
we'll
an
talk
album.
about it again. we gotta catch people up.
Right. It's been in the works for like 2 years now, but it's an upcoming album of mine that I'm working on with a friend over in Pasadena, so I'm working on that as well. Kind of wrapping that up, actually. Okay. So hopefully I can post more info and things like that regarding that project, but yeah.
Cool. Remind folks where they can find you on Instagram and social media and that kind of thing.
So I'm on Instagram at alyssahaze.official. My YouTube is Alyssa Haze as well, and I do have a Facebook page, which is also at Alyssa Haze.
Okay.
And
simple.
and as of recently, I've created a TikTok for my music, and I want to say that's Alyssa Haze as well. Either .official or .music. Oh, it's just Alyssa Haze. Simple enough.
Yep.
No, everything's at Alyssa Haze.
Cool.
the Polaroid Kmart U.S. All-Pro Funny Car Championship. 32 funny cars. See the Wild Burnout Contest with the world's fastest funny car, John Brute Force, defending champion, the Black Magic. A funny car tug of war right on the track. See all the funny cars fire up at the same time, California style, including 4 jet cars side by side. Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at Old Bridge Township Raceway Park near Englishtown, New Jersey.
Looking at the guitars behind you,
Yes.
they're pretty cool back there. What do you have back there?
Thanks. I don't play the guitar, at least yet, so I don't personally play them. But I've got 2 bass guitars. One is a 4-string and the other is a 6-string.
Cool.
Just a miniature guitar that needs new strings. It's only got like half of the strings on it. And the red guitar is just a regular 6-string electric guitar. My mom actually got it for me as a gift, I want to say a year ago. She found it at some thrift store.
Those are the best guitars.
I got the other 3 guitars from my dad.
Okay.
My dad is a drummer, DJ, everything music, so he's kind of given me a lot of the equipment that I use, including those 3 guitars, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's another one on the floor, on a floor stand.
Okay.
That one as well, so, yeah.
So music's definitely in your family.
Oh, for sure.
Cool.
I like to say I got the music gene from my dad. And my dad's dad, which would be my grandfather, was also a big music guy, and I actually have some of his equipment as well that was originally passed down to my dad and now passed down to me.
That's pretty cool. What did your grandfather play? What did he do musically?
I actually do not know that.
Okay.
I don't know of anything that he played in specific. So I'll have to ask and find out more about that.
Well, cool, Alyssa. I was real happy to have you back on.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me again as well.
Yeah. Again, where can folks find your EP?
My EP is on all the major streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube as well. And yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to another episode of the Planet Shivers podcast. Thank you, Alyssa Haze, for coming back on the show to talk more about her music and everything like that. Remember, you can find this episode and all the other ones on all major podcast platforms and YouTube with video. More video coming. Once again, we're going to get this podcast back up and rolling with some consistency. I've already nailed down a few guests coming up. You're going to love them. It's going to be great. Lots of art, lots of music. 2 of my favorite things. Catch you on the next episode. And until then, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else.